What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chef Jeffrey's Kitchen. Today we're going to be talking about how to manage your cravings during a fat loss phase. Before we get into it, please hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed to hit that bell notification icon for all future videos, and let's get into it. When most people are attempting a fat loss phase, something that they'll commonly do is completely cut out foods that they actually enjoy. Such as, let's say that I love Reese's peanut butter cups and I'm in a calorie deficit and I know that I cannot control myself. If there's Reese's in the house, I'm going to eat them. I'm going to find them. I'm going to sniff them out. So what do most people do? Most people will say, I can't have those. I'm on a diet. But what this does is it creates a scarcity mindset. So if I'm depriving myself and I'm on a diet, then my likelihood of sticking to that diet goes out the window. Remember that the way that you're eating now should reflect the way that you are going to be eating for the rest of your life. So if there are some of your favorite foods that you need to cut out just so you can lose a little bit of weight, then is it really worth it? I think you need to ask yourself if it's really worth it. If Reese's make you happy, and you enjoy eating them, but you cannot control yourself with them, how do we get you to a point where you can control yourself and have these foods in the house? Mainly because not everybody has the option to completely eliminate a food out of their entire food environment. Let's say you have kids and they like having Reese's peanut butter cups. Are you gonna tell your kids, no, you can't have those because I can't control myself around that food? Are you setting a good example for your kids by completely demonizing a certain food? Probably not. So what we are going to talk about next is called exposure therapy, and this is the method that I use with online coaching clients when they have a specific trigger food that is causing them anxiety and they have a hard time controlling themselves around it. I'll put it this way. Let's say you have a puppy. Right now I have a puppy. This is what he looks like. Mello. Now, when I first got Mello, something that I knew he was going to be a little bit afraid of was the vacuum cleaner. And the only way that I knew how to get Mello acquainted with the vacuum cleaner so that he wasn't afraid of it anymore was to expose him to the vacuum cleaner and give him positive reinforcement. That this thing is safe, it's helping us, it's part of the family, it's part of the house, and you're okay being around it. So what did I do? I fed him treats near the vacuum cleaner, I turned it on, and then I gave him treats around the vacuum cleaner, and then I moved around with the vacuum and I gave him treats, and before you know it, after a couple of days, he was totally fine with the vacuum cleaner. This is an example of exposure therapy, and you can actually do this with yourself, which is kind of funny. What I want you to do is take your trigger food, and I actually want you to buy a whole bag of it. Let's say it's Reese's peanut butter cups. I want you to buy a huge bag of Reese's peanut butter cups, or if you're watching this close to Halloween time, grab a bag for your trick-or-treaters, grab your favorite candy bar, and then have a bag of it in your closet. Now, something important to note here is I don't want you to actually have that food in plain sight. And the reason for this is if you have it in plain sight, you're not going to be able to control yourself around it because you're not controlling your food environment. But we want to control it a little bit more than that. So we want to put it in a cupboard somewhere out of sight. Okay, and now that you have this trigger food in the house, what I want you to actually do is have one piece of this trigger food every single day. And that may scare you. You may be like, I can't just have one per day. Try it out. Give it a shot. If it works for you, awesome. You've solved the problem. If it doesn't work for you, then there's other solutions that we can regress from there. Most likely what will happen though is you will find that once you have that one piece of whatever that you're craving, you don't actually crave it the next day because you know that it's still there for you. It's still going to be there. So you eliminate the scarcity mindset and move into more of an abundance mindset towards the food that you're craving. If this method doesn't work for you, then there's one more that you can try, and this is eliminating it out of your food environment, but then creating a barrier between you and that food. In other words, let's say it's Reese's peanut butter cups, and you don't have it in the house, but you know that you're still giving yourself permission to buy a 2-cup pack of Reese's peanut butter cups. So you can go drive to the gas station or to the store to go get it if you are craving it that bad. What this does is it creates a barrier because now you have to think about getting in the car, driving, waiting in line, going to the store, doing all of these things. So it actually requires some work for you to put in before you go ahead and get that food that you're craving. What you may find is that by the time you get to the point that you want to have that food, you're like, oh, that's a lot of work. I gotta get in the car, I gotta go. I'll just have something else. And then you end up not having that trigger food anyways. And if you're really craving that food, you can get into the car and go get it, right? You're still allowing yourself permission to go get that food, and you're still improving your relationship with food in this way. So that's it, guys. Those are my 2 strategies for dealing with cravings in a fat loss phase. Number one is exposure therapy. Expose yourself to the food that you are craving as often, actually daily. I recommend daily, so as often as possible. And then number two is create a barrier between you and the food that you're craving. Hope these tips were helpful. If they were, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon. More information about coaching down in the description if you want to work one-on-one with me. And I will see you guys in the very next video, my friend. Bye-bye.